going back sort of to like the preschool thing,
Yeah.
like when you were working in that environment, were there things that you learned about what those kids needed from you as an adult that you feel like applies here at I Can Do That? I know we have a wide range of ages, but yeah, anything that you brought from the preschool world?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think like we're all still toddlers, right?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I know I am myself.
Learning the developmental stages and learning how you teach and communicate
Right.
really changed a lot of how I interact with the world and
Yeah.
interact with people here and interact with our students.
Hmm.
It's a lot of like, are your needs met? And if they're not, you're not going to succeed. And so, how do we provide these needs for students?
Hmm.
I learned a lot about also like within classroom management of
Hmm.
I often find if students were having a hard time sitting and staying focused or X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
like those were student leaders. Those were kids who needed a task, needed a job. And like
Right.
when you give
Love
somebody a
that.
responsibility and it empowers them,
Yes.
that's when you see success. And
So true.
it's so true, and I think that's what's important about what we do is we really empower our students. We hold them to a level of excellence that they can do and we expect from them. And I
Hmm.
think that's what's so empowering about it is they might have a belief that they can't do it, but they see themselves succeed and
Right.
they work hard to do it. It's not necessarily something that they're going to wake up and all of a sudden know a dance, but they're going to work each week and see themselves improving. And it's the
Right.
same sort of thing. You're giving a task, you're giving a job, and
Hmm.
you're seeing somebody rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
And when you don't hold people to those standards, when you
Hmm.
don't allow people to meet your expectations, it never allows them to grow
Right.
past that.
Right.
You know, we all have a lot of internal and external dialogue of like, I'm not enough. I can't do this. I can't do that. I don't do this. I'm bad at this. ICDT creates a place where that is not present. And again, being a preschool teacher,
Yeah.
that's a big thing of students grow so much. In 6 months,
Oh
a
my
child
gosh.
can be completely different. Adults can be the same way. Kids can be the same way. It's all just ingrained behavior. It's
Yeah.
all external. It's all internal. It's how do you silence those things and how do you tell yourself you
Yeah.
can succeed?
Right.
When they're that young, they don't have that. They don't have that dialogue.
Hmm.
And so we see them grow. We see them learn and conquer. And how do we shut that dialogue off in our
Mm.
students, in our families, and everybody? How do we allow people to
Yeah.
see themselves as they are without the external conversation about
Right.
that?
And
So,
that's so true. Like, we're born creative. You're not judging
yeah,
yourself as a toddler when you're like knocking stuff down or like drawing and it's a disaster, but like, because it's not a disaster because you're exploring and then these judgments come in of like, how am I seen? And then so you start being self-critical and that's why, yeah, we talk about I Can Do That kind of being a playground for life in the sense of we're free here to experiment and to
yeah,
try on different parts of who we are and that's where like the growth is and the beauty is and that's life, that's forever. And I think there's a lot of choosing, well, this is who I am and this is the way I've always done it and pretending that we have like this one set identity,
yeah,
but the world around us is always changing, we are changing all the time, and so to be able to be fluid with it and feel comfortable with ourselves enough to be like, I'm going to try something new. I mean, I have a quote, I think it's around The Office, that says something like, the expert in anything was
hmm,
once a beginner. You
yes,
have to start and you have to try to ever get anywhere with it.
yeah,
And that first comes with not, and I'm not going to say the negative, that first with loving yourself enough to go for it and surrounding yourself with people who are like building you up at the same time to do it.
absolutely. And in theater, like one of the biggest things is you cannot have judgment towards your character. Like, as
Yeah.
soon as you're judging your character for their actions, you cannot authentically inhabit that character. That is such an important life skill and it transfers outside of the
That's
stage. It
huge.
transfers outside of that. But when you have a complex character and you're like doing script analysis and you're analyzing why their objectives are what they are,
Yeah.
you can't have judgment because we're all that way. It makes me a more forgiving person.
Right.
I'm
Not if you're
able.
wanting to connect. If
Yes,
you're
and
actually wanting to understand each other and connect, the judgment is a block
yes, and
to
on
any of
yourself
that.
as well, of
Exactly.
like, you can't judge
Right.
yourself. And
Shame
that's
it. Yeah.
why theater is all about exploration. When we give these students the space to explore and
Yeah.
make acting choices, like make a choice that might seem silly, like that's where
Hmm.
comedy lies. Like that's where you find these things, and it teaches you to bring that skill outside of the classroom and into the real world.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about like accepting your character, accepting
Hmm.
people for who they are, and
Hmm.
understanding the choices that people make. And when you're embodying a character and you're making a choice as that character that you wouldn't necessarily make, that's where like the magic is, that's where the growth is.
Right.
And then when you see people making choices outside of that, you're able to look and be like, oh, interesting, oh, they're probably doing it because they feel insecure, and
Right.
so, you know, they're having a hard time engaging because they feel insecure, so they don't want to open themselves up.
Right.
Okay, how can I take that and okay, how can I engage them if that's where they're
What
coming
would
from?
work for them
Yes,
to, yeah.
what's the concern? And
Right.
so
Right.
as a educator, as a person, that allows you to, yeah, better just understand.
Yeah.
So
And, something that I've heard, which I like, is like everybody is the hero in their own story. Like we are truly all of us. You can't do anything but your best at any moment with what you have to give. Like generally intentions are good and you're trying everything you can and you're doing your best. And we're all so complex and there's so much going on. And so yeah, understanding that there's so much more to all of our stories, and to be able to step out of like my point of view and
yeah,
try to step into yours is something that you need to do as an actor, and
yeah,
like in order to connect with anybody in the world, especially when there's tension or adversity. um to be able to put yourself to the side is the only way to open the door to any kind of connection or understanding or agreement.
absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, awesome.